Yeah, Carl, congratulations on the win. How did you see it?
Yeah, look, I think the first half was excellent. That was some of our best football this year in the first half. The second half, the first 10, 15 minutes was good, and we just needed to get that third goal. And then after that, we made it very difficult for ourselves in the last 30. We just too spread out, couldn't keep the ball. But that's credit to Brisbane. They really pushed us in the second half. The first half they sort of sat a little bit deeper. Second half they came out and attacked us a little bit more and made it a little bit more difficult for us.
Are those signs a little worrying, given that next weekend you've got Western United? If you do beat them, you've cemented fourth place, a home final, and you need, I suppose, intensity for 90 minutes to keep it going throughout the finals.
Yeah, look, it's pleasing still that we kept a clean sheet tonight. We even though that last 30 minutes was difficult and we weren't great, but we still managed to keep the clean sheet, which was important. And we'll worry about next week after the game and what comes after that. We'll just focus on tonight's game, and then we'll focus on Western later in the week.
And this week, obviously, you reverted back to, I suppose, more of a normal, so to speak, to formation. Is that because of the opposition that you played tonight? Like last week, you had 5 attackers starting, and then you brought it back to the normal formation. So obviously, you're lining up teams week per week, not only the way it's not only the way you play.
Yeah, look, you're always aware of what the strengths and weaknesses of the opposition, and try and come up with a game plan that's going to give you success. And tonight, I thought, as I said, I thought that first 45 minutes tonight was excellent. Our pressure on the ball was fantastic. We didn't allow them to put too many passes together, and we moved the ball very well. It would have been nice to have got 1 or 2 more goals in that first half, but it didn't happen. But Brisbane, I said during the week, they're a good side. They've got some really good young players there. And they came out in the second half and made it a little bit more difficult for us.
I think one of the unsung heroes of late has been Popovic. I mean, he's going to, in my opinion, maybe hard to dislodge for a place in the 11. How do you see this kid's progress at the moment?
Yeah, look, Alex is, as I said, I think a couple of weeks ago, Alex I've known, for a very long time, and he just needs games. The last 2 or 3 years he's had a bad run of injuries. He has bad run of concussions as well, so it just needs to get more game time, more minutes in his legs, and because he's a quality young defender. As I said, all the way through his youth career, he's one of the best defenders that I've ever seen in youth football. Just his defensive work and his organisation, and we're starting to see that blossom.
I think it's, in my opinion, refreshing. We haven't seen many defenders come up lately. We've seen a lot of wingers, attackers, attacking midfielders, but defending, the art of defending, it's sort of come back. Is that pleasing for you?
Yeah, most definitely. As you said, we went down a path, I suppose, with the national curriculum where we wanted to develop more attacking players and more players that could play football, and we sort of, as you said, let that art of defending, of heading the ball and being strong in 1v1s sort of went aside a little bit. So it's pleasing to have a young defender that's coming in and doing so well.
How far do you see him going in his career? Where do you see him going?
Look, it's still early days. He's, as I said, he's still got to get his body right and be able to back up and play. I don't know what it is now, 7 or 8 games he's now played, which is most probably the longest run of games he's put together over the last 3 or 4 years. So he just needs to, keep his body right and keep playing.
Thanks, Carl.
Thanks, Val. Over to Joey Lynch.
Hi, Carl. Congratulations on the win, mate. Yeah, your 2 goals tonight. They've both come in from crosses into the box. You've had a few more other opportunities wherein Ibasuki's had a few added chances. Do you think that height and physicality that you've got up top, especially in finals football where the chances become even harder to create, the pace quickens, that physicality gives your side an extra boost in finals football?
Oh, yeah, we know that finals football is very tight and very close, and teams don't want to make mistakes. But we've done a lot of work the last 2-3 weeks on our crossing and on our movement, because I think, when we look over the course of the year, I think we've crossed the ball most probably more than any other team, but just haven't made the most of that, or made the most of Hero's presence in the box. And we've really had a strong focus on that in the last 2-3 weeks, especially since Damien's came involved with the group here. That's one of his key strengths is, in and around the box, and that's what he was great at as a striker, scoring goals. And he's, had a big influence on that the last couple of weeks at training.
And Josh Cavallo, he started the season as a left back, played him in the midfield last week, a bit further forward tonight. Is that sort of his role, do you think, going forward, the super utility off the bench, just play him anywhere?
Yeah, at the moment it is. He fills a position for us. We gave him the left back role at the beginning of the season, and then unfortunately, he got COVID and missed a few weeks. And Ryan Kiddo then came in and has been outstanding all season for us at left back. So then Josh, brings something a little bit different for us when he plays in the midfield, because he has a lot of energy and technically is very good. So he can play. As you said, he can play in the midfield. He can play wide. So it's good to have that versatility on the bench.
And you talked about it in your pre-game presser, but Cassini and Michael, they're still on track to return next week? Yeah,
most definitely. Cassini will definitely get game time next week, and then, as you said, it's just then about managing the squad loads and see what we need to get next week in the game.
And Michael's capable of playing minutes next week?
Yeah, most definitely, yep. He'll join in with full training starting Tuesday, so he'll have the full week with a main group, and then we'll reassess before the game next week what we need and who we need to put minutes into.
And do you have any fitness or injury concerns coming out of tonight?
No, everyone pulled up well. It was quite a taxing game tonight. I think, as you said, we used a lot of energy in that first half. And it's been a long season. I think, people got to remember that this has been a very difficult season with COVID and the length of the season. We're in week 40 of our season, which is a long time, so the players are starting to feel that fatigue.
Cool. That's all from me. Cheers, mate.
Thanks, Joey. Adam, do you have any questions for Carl?
Yep, just one question, Carl. You brought in George Blackwood to the side tonight for Bernardo Oliveira. Was this something that you saw, I guess, scouting the Raw about sort of their weakness against set piece and crossing?
Yeah, look, we know that they didn't have a lot of height in their side, but George, he's been playing really well for us off the bench the last few weeks, and he's a very intelligent player, and we needed someone that could link up with Hero and play in between the lines. We tried Lockie Brook in there last week, and it didn't quite work for us, so we went with a different style this tonight, and I thought George was excellent.
Yeah, that's all from me. Thanks, Carl. Congratulations, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Cheers, Adam. Let's go to Cam in the room. Stole your question. We're all done, guys.
No worries. Thanks, guys.